Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, November 26, 2019. Executive Officer.
Commissioner Villegas, Davis, and Caloza are present. President Pro Tem Davis, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau Street Lighting.
Ansar Mustafa, Bureau Street Lighting. Good morning.
Dale Burgoyne, Sanitation.
Maria Martin, Bureau of Engineering.
Linda McGlinchey, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Sherman Torres, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President Pro Tem, we did receive one speaker card under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We also received speaker items on all, we also received speaker cards on all items for today's agenda.
With that, let's start with general public comments. Mr. Herman.
Public issues should be uninhibited, wide open. It may well include vehement, caustic, and sometimes unpleasant sharp attacks on government and public officials, pussy. The language of the political arena is often abusive. Get used to it. Because according to one president, it's not troubling is the defendant's statement imploring others to shoot the nig, N-I-G, lest this country be fucked for another 4 years because never in the history has a black person done anything right. United States versus Bagdasarian 0950529 for the record. As I would put it, under the statute of 394 U.S. at 70506, Watts versus the Supreme Court of the United States, if they ever make me carry a rifle, the first man I want to get in my sight, ID at 706. And I say this because today and in the future, Jose Huizar, the FBI probe of bribery is what you motherfuckers are involved. Where's Mr. Santos, the other fucking commissioner? Where's Sancito? Where's the asshole? He's running from the FBI, and you should too. When you defend assholes and accuse people of being terrorists like you did, Mr. Davis, with Wayne Spindler, for the record. The FBI should look into your bank account. The FBI should do an audit on your behalf. Stop fucking with the American dream. People want to live in this country without corruption. You fucking criminals need to stop this shit. Hess versus Indiana. Herman is taking back the fucking streets again.
2 minutes.
Herman is taking back the fucking streets later.
That takes us to our first item of business, the approval of the minutes of the meeting of Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. Is there a second to my motion to approve the minutes from the meeting? Seconded by Commissioner Villegas and seconded by, Villegas, and seconded by Commissioner Caloza. That'll be the order. The first order item is item number 1. Well, first, let me just, in terms of order of items overall in the agenda, I want to first of all note that, Commissioners, that there has been a request to withdraw items 3 and 5, and hearing no objections or questions, we will go ahead and withdraw those 2 items. Also, Commissioners, I'd like to call to your attention that item number 2, there is also a request to continue this particular item to Wednesday, December the 4th, 2019. And if there are no objections, and I hear and see none, we will continue that to December the 4th, 2019. So that leads us to our first agenda item, item number 1, impacting CDs 2 and 7, task order solicitation number SN-72, amendment number 1, and budget increase, Geosyntex Consultants Incorporated, recommending the board 1, authorize Director and General Manager of Bureau of Sanitation or his designee to issue Amendment Number 1 to existing TOS SN-72 to Geosyntex Consultants Incorporated. 2, authorize a budget increase from $3,360,000 to $5,986,194, an increase of $2,626,194 to implement green stormwater infrastructure projects in 2 additional areas. 1, Ben Avenue and Victoria Boulevard, and 2, McCormick Street and Vinland Avenue. And 3, extend the terms of engagement to December the 31st, 2021 with one optional 30-month extension. C-124345. And reporting is Ryan Thai.
Mr. President Pro Tem, we'd also have a speaker card if you'd like to hear it before or after
that's
the
right,
presenter.
that's right.
You
I'm
could.
sorry.
It's your
Hold on
discretion.
1 second, Ryan. Mr. Herman, item number 1.
Paper in my hand, page 1912 for the record, United States versus Bagdasarian. This is going to the LLC. Mr. Jordan is present for the record. So let me get this to the point. CB2 is a gentleman who runs the budget. This budget has been determined to have some issues of concern because there's been a concern overall whether or not this individual who controls the budget has discriminated, retaliated, and used the Jose Huizar method of stealing under corruption, abuse, waste, and fraud when he hires his friends for $600 to $800 an hour to increase and amend the logistics of the General Manager Bureau of Sanitation to issue this amendment under number 1 for the $3,360,000 for stormwater infrastructure. Well, our infrastructure is fucked up. It's been this way for years. I've been living in this fucking state, in this fucking city, trying to get you to fix our fucking sidewalk and streets infrastructure under Willis versus Los Angeles, and you deny I the privilege, the right of black, Hispanic man to have a safe place all under the stormwater infrastructure. Instead, it's corruption. Fucking corruption. Put the fucking money where it's going to work. Listen to Donald Trump. Save money, save America, and let's have constitutional betterment. Otherwise, where the fuck is Willis versus Los Angeles? Why can't you fix the sidewalks and streets infrastructure? Why can't you build bridges and put those fucking new water pipes underground? Instead, you cause them to leak. Fuck up personal property. Fuck
2 minutes.
our place of living. Get it straight. And I put public dollars on all items. Fuck you, according to USC. 1983.
Mr. Ryan Thaya presenting. Good morning. Okay.
Okay, all right, let's do it again. Good morning, my name is Ryan Thea with LA Sanitation. I'm a civil engineer. I'll be speaking to the board for the action item number 1. Sanitation is recommending the Board of Public Works to authorize the amendment number 1, the task order solicitation SN-72 with budget increase and time extension. In September 8, 2017, the board awarded the contract to Geosyntex Consultants for implementation of Van Nuys Green Street. The project was completed last year successfully, and it is going through 1 year of operation and maintenance and optimization. So we are requesting the budget increase of $2,626,194 from original amount of $3,600,000 to the new amount $5,986,194, and the extension for the term of engagement is all the way to December 31st, 2021. So Geosyntex successfully completed the project under budget on time, and the project is working really well. We have been monitoring the project over the last storm season. So we have pretty good confidence in our consultant that they will be able to deliver the green stormwater infrastructure in the 2 additional locations stated in the board report. So the reason we have those 2 additional locations, last year the council members, Korean's office, alerted the public works offices, including the sanitation, regarding the flooding occurring in Sun Valley and North Hollywood area. So our staff went out there, did a lot of flow measurements and observations, and found that these areas, in fact, has a lot of flooding issues because of lack of stormwater infrastructure. So with that, we wanted to come up with a sustainable green solution to be able to reduce the flooding level. At the same time, recharge the groundwater table. The project 2 locations are sitting on San Fernando Valley groundwater table. So by doing these 2 projects, we're actually achieving 2 objectives. 1, flood control, relieving the community from heavy floods, such as rain from today will be probably causing the floods in the community. And when it rains, the water just goes out into the storm drains and into the oceans. So we want to be able to catch the water and use it for future use as a potable water as we go. So those are the 2 objectives that we want to accomplish with this project. Over the course of 12 months, we went to 11 site locations in the 2 communities. Out of the 11, we selected these two locations because of the severity of the problems and ease of implementation. So these 3 projects, these 2 locations, the project components are fully funded through 3 different funding sources. One from CRA-LA, Access Non-Housing Bond Proceeds. The other one is Proposition O. And lastly, from the contribution from Department of Water and Power. The breakdown of funds are $813,294 from CRA-LA, $848,030 from Proposition O, and $877,370 from Department of Water and Power. The 2 locations combined, after the project is implemented, will increase the groundwater recharge in the San Fernando Valley by 83 acre-feet per year. I believe that's about 35 million gallons of water a year. The project components include carp inlets, bioswales, and infiltration wells. These are the project components that we did in Pacoima area. They are demonstrated to be working really well, so we just want to copy the same scope and do those in the 2 different locations. Due to the tight project timeline described in the Council Motion 14-1174-S50, LASN is expediting the completion of the projects and proposes to amend the existing contract agreement rather than issuing a new contract in order to save time. Geosyntex Consultants has the expertise, knowledge, and experienced team to get this project to begin the construction by March 2020 and complete the construction by spring of 2021. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Yes, I want to first of all just ask to give a brief overview about subcontract inclusion in the project.
Yes, I believe right now, as of today, previously they have pledged to have close to 75% of WB and B small business participation. But what happened during the process is that a lot of small businesses were not able to participate because they got really busy with other projects. So we got down to somewhere between, I believe, a little bit lower than that if I reading it carefully, about 56% participation level. So a little bit lower than what we expected. But with the new 2 locations added, we hope to bring it up to what we want to be around 70%. That's our target goal. Another thing is that we've been working with those small businesses in the last couple of years to kind of give them the expertise and knowledge in working in that kind of projects and setting. So we hope to be able to capture more of that as we move forward.
Sure.
So our goal is
we have over 50% small businesses that have been able to participate.
Correct.
In this project. Now, additionally, when we looked at that, we discovered that some 30% of those happen to be minority businesses, of the small businesses included. Is that?
That is correct.
And then another approximately 30% of those small businesses that we were able to acquire in this project also were emerging businesses.
That is correct.
Newer businesses. So we've created in this project opportunities for new businesses to get work with the city. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is one of the primary goals of these projects. We want to be able to kind of handhold in the beginning to be able to give them the expertise. These projects are not very complicated, but they do need to have specialized skill and be able to work on a very tight schedule and tight spatial constraints because these projects are all located on public right-of-way. So with those requirements, the last couple of years, we were not able to find as much emerging businesses as we can, but now I think we have more opportunities to engage them as we go.
Great, and as you know, we in the board are always happy to have diversity and inclusion, and particularly around locally funded projects, where in fact, if they're not federal, they are not necessarily compelled to that kind of inclusion. But we know that the value of both the mayor's office as well as the city council is that we would like to see this, even though in fact, in many regards, there's always an issue that we don't have to do it. But when we look around at the people who live in Los Angeles, we do want to do it. So I have the greatest appreciation for the fact that you have. With that, we have Commissioner Caloza who has some questions for you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Thank you for that overview. That was helpful. And I think Commissioner Davis touched on one of the questions I was going to ask around the sub-consultant participation. So just to clarify right now, if we didn't add 2 additional projects to this TOS, this otherwise would have been closed out already because the projects were already completed.
We finished the construction 9 months ago. The contract expires in June 2020, so that's when we plan to close out after 1 year and a few months of operation and optimization period. So right now we have contractors out there monitoring how the project's components are working, if the trees survive the season, the winter, and the plants are where they're supposed to be. They're picking up the trash and all that and documenting all that. So the contract is still active until June 2020.
Okay. And so what percent, if before this item is coming to board, have you actually expended from the original contract amount?
We spent approximately $3.1 million as of last month. So this month we probably have spent about $3.2 million, so close to the original $3.36 million amount. So we have a few leftovers.
So that $0.1 addition from last month to this month is cost spent on surveying, or just so I understand?
It was spent on fixing the project's issues that came out after the construction. We had to replace some of the safety railings because they were vandalized over the course of 1 year, and some of the plants didn't make it through the winter because we had really heavy rain, so they got all washed out and inundated. So a lot of the issues that came out after the construction, we were fixing them throughout the last 9 months. So I would say we were addressing those issues just to make sure the project works when we take over the project from the contractors.
Okay. And, I think, obviously in general, I'm supportive of these green infrastructure projects. I think where I am, obviously we've had this discussion a few times now, is again the use of a personal service contract, right, versus a construction contract. And I just want to, think that that's a conversation we still need to continue after this, after these 2 projects. I understand that these are urgent and these are projects that are driven by a council motion that you mentioned. And on that piece, I think that attachment for the council motion isn't included in the board materials. I think it would be helpful if you maybe want to add, if we can add that as an amended document to all the materials that we received.
Yes, sanitation is working on starting a new pathway to implement this kind of projects other than using the personal services contract. So I am actually in charge of drafting the the paperwork to get that going, because these projects, as you have stated, came out of emergency needs, and we had to use what we have available in hand. But moving forward, on the long run, we will be moving forward with the different appropriate contracting mechanism for these kind of projects.
Okay. And yeah, so if we could just attach the council motion to this, that
We
would
will
be
do that,
helpful.
yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Villegas.
Just really quick, I was wondering, once you do the schematic for the project, did you go back to the council office just so they can review it?
We work with council district the last 9 months, going back and forth to make sure that we are providing what is needed in the community. They have first-hand knowledge of what the issues are from their constituents. So we have been going back and forth and developing the concept designs to the level that meets the expectations. Yes.
Thank you.
Great. May I receive a second to my motion to accept item number 1? Seconded by Commissioner Vallejos. Villegas, I'm sorry. My pronunciation here. Any opposition to the motion? Hearing and seeing none, that motion will be so ordered forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, next we have item 3, 5, 2. So we have item number 3 next. 4. Let's continue. 6. 4. Administrative item number 4, specifications submitted for the board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. CD 11 for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Perimeter Road Improvements, CIP 2447, work order number SZH 11858, estimated at $5,045,000, and the bid receipt date is January 15th, 2020. Presenting on that, we don't have anybody presenting on that one.
Mr. President Pro Tem, there is no presenter on this one. This is just an administrative item,
Sure.
but just also for the record, we do have a speaker card on item number 4, which is Mr. Herman. He's not in the room, but just calling him for the record, Mr. Herman.
Mr.
Not in the room. So just a motion would allow us to move forward with this administrative item.
Absolutely. And can I have a second to my motion? Seconded by Commissioner Coloza. Any opposition? Hearing and seeing none, that item will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be item number 6, quarterly status reports for personal services contracts. And we have presenting first Martin. Is that correct? Is Martin here?
Maria Martin.
Oh, okay. Martin.
And then
Thank
also
you.
just for the record, before Ms. Martin starts her presentation, we do have a speaker card on this item, Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman's not in the room, but
Mr.
just
Herman.
calling him for the record, Mr. Herman.
Mr. Herman. Okay. Now we'll move forward. Mr. Herman is not here.
Good morning again, Maria Martin, presenting the monthly status report for the Bureau of Engineering on personal services contracts due to expire between December 1st, 2019 and February 29th, 2020. We have 2 contracts that are expiring in that time period. Contract C-121-862 with HNTB Corporation. The expiration date is December 31st, 2019. The authorized task and notices to proceed issued are $29,992,233, and the contract manager is Julie Allen. This contract provides final design services and design support during construction for the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project. An amendment requesting to extend the contract from December 31st, 2019 to September 30th, 2023, and to increase the contract ceiling from $30 million to $33 million has been approved by the Mayor and Council and is awaiting execution. The next contract is contract number C-104390. The firm is Turner JGM, a joint venture. The expiration date for that contract is February 18th, 2020. The authorized NTPs issued are 18 million. The contract manager is Alan Kawaguchi. This contract provides program and construction management services for the Proposition Q citywide safety program. The contract will be archived after the expiration date. And that concludes my presentation.
Any questions of our presenter on this item? Hearing and seeing none, thank you for your report. We have from Street Services, Ms. Monica Shelton.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today I'm presenting on behalf of the Bureau of Street Services, and it is in regards to our personal service contract report. As of for the next contracts expiring within the next 90 days, we do not have any contracts expiring within the next 90 days. However, we do have a pending award, and that is for our recycled and disposable of inert material, which will be coming to the board probably around January. So that's the only thing that we have.
Okay. Thank you so much for your report today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. Next, we have Nancy Latin from Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Reps, City Attorney, and Executive Officer. My name is Nancy Lanton from LA Sanitation and Environment. For this monthly status report, sanitation has 3 contracts expiring within the next 120 days. One of those contracts we will be renewing. It's for PacWest American Scale. That contract expires March 16th, 2020. It is for as-needed scale calibration, repairs, and maintenance services. LA San will be exercising a 5-year renewal option that's contained in this contract. That board report is currently under review with our Bureau of Contract Administration as well as our LA Sanitation executive staff. 2 of the contracts will not be renewed, and both of these contracts are expiring at the end of this month. One is for Rarig Pacific Company. That's for our automated refuse recycling containers, equipment, and ancillary services related to the container replacement program. LA Sanitation has executed new contracts with new selected proposers for these services. And then the 3rd contract is for West Coast Rendering Company. That one is expiring at the end of this month as well. That is for the dead animal processing and recovery services. LA Sanitation is issuing a letter of agreement to continue these services for another 6 months while Sanitation develops a contingency plan for the disposal of the animal carcasses. And that concludes my report for this month.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any questions or concerns about the sanitation report? Hearing and seeing none, thank you so much for your report.
Thank you.
Mr. Executive Officer, Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, the meeting of November 27th is now adjourned. And happy holidays.